Hello guys, welcome to my channel and this is Mod Addict with you. Today I'm gonna show you a mod which adds new units for the Grand Cathay faction. I think it's a really cool mod and adds a huge variety of different types of units. The units that you would never see in Warhammer games. Perhaps you will see this unit belonging to Warhammer 4000 and adds more than 20 new units. So far, this unit is only available for the Grand Cathay faction, but I think the creator of this mod has a goal to make it as a separate faction in the near future. This particular mod is in his language, so if you want the English translation, you can find it in his mod catalogs, and it's gonna look like this. Make sure you have the original mod, and for example, if you want the translated version, just subscribe to this one here. It should show you EN, stands for English. So guys, I can't wait to show you all these new units. Let's begin. And I'm gonna start with the melee infantry unit called Hidden Guard. All these units are very cool. They'll have new abilities. As you can see, it has a mist bomb. Basically makes the unit unspottable, gives them stock, gives them 10% of speed and 10% physical resistance. Also, they have the Vanguard deployment. They're immune to psychology. We got the new ability for their melee attacks called the Blood Sword, which reduces the enemy's defense stats. Also, they have ability Shu Guwen, increases their melee attack the more kills they make. They have a prayer ability which heals them whenever this unit reaches 25% of the hit points. Also can resurrect the dead combatants, and they also have the 5% of the physical resistance. This unit is armor piercing and have a anti-infantry bonus. Their better version is the Cantal Shadows, which is a upgraded version of the Hidden Guard. As the Hidden Guard, they also get the Mist Bomb, but this unit gets the formation called Spirit Snake Shokarai, which increases their charge speed, gives them bonus versus infantry, but reduces their armor. They also get the Vanguard deployment, they also immune to psychology, and have ability of the Blood Sword, Shuguwei, Prayer, 10% of the physical resistance. They got armor piercing swords, and have bonus versus infantry. And now we come to the units you guys don't expect to see in a regular Warhammer game, maybe in Warhammer 40,000. This mod brings us this unique units, as you can see, more futuristic ones. This one is the D Sentinel. As you guys can see, it looks like robot, which has their unique abilities as well. Because they're robots, they're immune to psychology. They have a Mecha Construction one, which gives them physical resistance. Mecha Research Institute, which gives them more physical resistance. And a D-Armor Shield, which does the damage reflection on melee by 5. And there another variant, D-Sentinel with halberds, basically an anti-large version of them. They also get the same abilities as the previous unit, and they get D-Armored Halberd, which reduces the enemy's armor by 7, the also armor piercing, and anti-large. Now we got another version of the robots. This is the even better ones. It's called T Martial Law. It has immune to psychology, has Mecha Research Institute, which gives them 10% of physical resistance, Mecha Construction 2, which gives them 10% of physical resistance rather than 5% of the previous units. They have a better melee damage reflection, and now they also get 5% of the physical resistance. They have a small bonus versus infantry, and they got silver shields to protect them from missiles. And now we have another version of this unit with halberds, T Martial Lawman. This unit also gets most of the previous unit's abilities. And for their melee attack, they have a T-Armored Halberd ability, which reduces the enemy's armor by 14, their anti-large, and armor piercing. And now we have the Mecha Reapers. It's called K3 Reaper. As you can see, very cool looking unit. Because they're called Reaper, this unit gets the Cause Fear ability, as the Mecha Construction 1. Basically, all the abilities except the Soul can Harvest, which increases the armor piercing damage based on how many kills they do. They have magical attacks and K3 armor sight ability, which does damage per second. They're anti-infantry and have armor piercing. But this mod brings us a cooler variant of the Reapers, K5 Death Prayer. It's unbreakable, have the same abilities as the previous one, has a physical resistance of 5, and unlike the other unit, it also causes terror, has magical attacks, and on melee attack has a damage per second ability called K5 Armored Sight. It's anti-infantry and armor piercing. And for the last melee infantry unit that this mod has to offer, we got Bloody Thingway. That's an interesting unit which comes with different stances. So the first one is the Tortoise Shell Defense Formation. Basically a stance to protect them from enemy missiles. As you can see, it got really nice bonuses of missile block chance and melee defense, but affects their speed and melee attack. And they also have the ability to protect them from the charging units, which gives them the stats of 200% of charge resistance and 50% mass. The only downside is their missile block chance is going to be lowered by 50% and they can't move in this stance. This unit also immune to psychology. It's impetuous, has the Shu Guwei ability, prayer, and the physical resistance of 10%. It's anti-large and armor piercing. They also get the bronze shields to protect them from enemy missiles. First unit from the missile infantry roster, called Wilderness Hand, Tainting Dragon Crossbowman. I think this unit is very unique because the modder gave them two stances. The first one is the long range defense. It brings them the huge bonus for armor piercing missiles. Improves their missile damage, improves their range and reload skill, but this unit can move during in this stance. And they got the second stance called the Cringe Strike, which gives them a slightly better bonus for armor piercing missile damage and base missile damage, but takes away the missile block chance and they can move while in this stance. Also, they come with their unique abilities from this mod. This unit also gets the missile resistance. This unit got the Silver Shield, melee bonus versus infantry, magical ammunition, and their crossbows are armor piercing, and both good against large and infantry units. This is the Sandre Recruit Company, a unit with handguns. It's expendable. They'll get the unique ability Sandrian Warband, which improves their speed and armor-piercing missile damage. And they also got the Machine Spirit Wrath. Whenever their hit points goes below 50%, their armor-piercing missile damage increases and their melee attacks as well. Next we got the Furnace Flames, the huge damage dealer. As you can see, very cool looking skins, and they're using the flamethrowers. They got the ability Mace, which reduces the physical resistance and gives weakness to fire to the enemy units. They have a small bonus versus infantry for their melee attacks. Because they're using flamethrowers, their ammunition got flaming attacks, and they have a bonus versus infantry, and it's also armor piercing. Also, they got the fire resistance of 20%. Next, I'm showing you guys a really cool looking unit called Sunday Veterans Company. Nice hybrid unit who can do lots of damage in melee and range. It got the ability of Uplifting Potion that you can use up to 3 times, which increases their speed and reload skill. They're immune to psychology. They have the ability Sandra Warband and the Machine Spirit Wrath. They have an armor piercing missile strength. Next I have an upgraded version of the previous units called Sandre Champion Tactical Company. They got the Zinch's Barrier. It's only 16 units in a large unit scale. They got a few abilities. One is Rampage, which increases their reload skill. Another one is Ammo Charge, which refills their ammo. As you can see, it's also as a hybrid unit who can do very well in melee and range. It has the magical ammunition and the bonus versus infantry for their missile attacks and armor piercing. And they also get the additional 5% of missile resistance. Next I got this unique looking unit for you guys. You're probably gonna be like, oh wow, Is this even possible to have this kind of units in Warhammer 3? I guess it's possible. This unit is called GP3 Ranger. Only 20 entities on an ultra unit scale. This unit will perform better at range. It got a nice range, has few ability for its range attacks too. It's called Type 3 aiming device, which reduces the enemy's missile resistance and missile block chance. Also armor piercing and anti-infantry. Got new ability Impact Resistant Construction 1, which gives them plus 5% of missile resistance. And another one, Artillery Workshop, which also gives them missile resistance. Next, we have another variant of the self-propelled artillery. This one has even a higher range and has a better stats overall. Got the flaming ammunition, it's armor piercing, and got Type 5 aiming device, which reduces the enemy missile resistance and missile block chance. It's immune to psychology, has the same abilities as the previous unit, but the better ones, upgraded versions basically, and got the 5% of missile resistances. Also, it can be used as a siege attacker to attack the enemy walls whenever you're going to be using them in siege battles. Next, I have for you the Calamity Spirit. You guys probably seen this unit somewhere, maybe another version, or maybe the Vampire Coast version. I can say that this version is much better and more powerful just because it has two different ammo types. The first one is the standard shell. You guys can pause for a couple of seconds just to read everything that this standard shell gives. And this is the submunitions. It's basically the most powerful attack that this unit can get. It's amazing against enemy infantry because the rocket that this unit fires breaks into lots of other shrapnels that deals a lot of damage to the surrounding units where the shot was fired. And trust me guys, this unit can kill 3 units just in one blast. Let's get to its stats. It has an amazing stats. Just like the Vampire Coast one, it can do decent in the melee because it has the bonus versus infantry and armor piercing, and can do tons of damage firing at targets because it has a huge missile strength, which is it has anti-large bonus and also armor piercing. Can be used as a siege attacker. Got the ability, the Blood Ammo Foundry, that refills the ammo and basically increases its physical resistance. Got the ability Sun Drain Warband, which increases its speed and armor piercing damage based on how many kills it does. Has the Machine Spirit Wrath that improves its stats whenever the hit points go below 50%. Got the 15% missile resistance, and this unit costs Terror and Fear. Also, as you guys can see, there's a shooter on top of the head of this unit and has its own unique skin, much different from the Vampire Coast one, using all the Grand Cathay cannons and the Sentinels just to make this one big bad boy. This mod also gives the Grand Cathay the flying units. The first one is the Changwang Swaleng Giant Dragon Horse Cavalry. So as you guys can see, a really powerful cavalry. Has 2 different stances. One against infantry, one against large units. Has the flaming ability on its melee attacks. Has bronze shields. Got a 10% physical resistance. And it also causing fear. Cool looking unit with a huge charge bonus. And we got another flying unit. Basically flying bulls. Called New Flying Kite. This one is not as good as the previous one in melee, but what it does good, it shoots at enemy very painful. Because their shooting weapon, armor piercing, and also a shield breaker. Their bulls got the special steel skin, which gives them the missile block chance and missile resistance, and in addition they got another missile resistance of 5%. Next we're gonna move to the constructs. We got the smaller version of the Terracotta Sentinel, which called the Warrior Guard. That's a really good unit with decent stats. It got the Diamond Shokarai stance, which improves their melee attacks and takes away their melee defense. They got some of the new abilities. physical resistance, and they also cause fear. Got the magical attacks, armor piercing weapons, with the bonus sources infantry. And here we got another version of the warrior guards, imperial guards, which has a lighter skin, but they also got the diamond shokara stance. Same abilities as the previous unit, better physical resistance, they also cause fear, has magical attacks, armor piercing weapon, and the bonus also versus infantry as well. This one is called Turret, a really cute looking, which has a range of the archers and a really big missile strength, which is armor piercing and it's unbreakable. But as you guys can see, it's gonna do very poorly in melee and has a really low health, so make sure to keep them away from the enemy army. Here's the upgraded version. This turret was, I know why, but it was translated the current version of 2.70. It got the ability, which called Test Skill, so this ability basically detonates this turret and kills everyone in a big huge radius around this unit. And next we got the actual tank called Xieji. That's a new unit for the Grand Cathay that they can call a steam tank. This unit is okay in melee because it got some bonus sources infantry and armor piercing, but has a really bad melee defense. This unit would prefer better in distance because it got a fairly decent range and a nice missile strength, which is armor piercing. It can be used as a siege attacker, got the ability Stand Firm, which improves its reload skill, got the Soundran Warband ability, Machine Spirit Wrath, and got 5% of physical resistance. And now we have another version of the new Grand Cathay tanks. This one's called Q Army. This one is a better unit than the previous one, has better stats. Also it got 3 entities, got a better range, nice missile strength, which is armor piercing. As you guys can see, it got multiple cannons on it. Also can be used as a siege attacker. Got the new ability Steel Turret, which increases its speed and mass. Also got the ability Stand Firm, Standard Warband, and Machine Spirit Wrath, 10% of physical resistance, and a cool looking unit that can do some kills. Next, I will show you guys a unit of the Praying Mates. Has a bunch of abilities, only 12 entities on an ultra unit scale. But as you guys can see, it has really nice stats that are being supported with really nice abilities. The first ability is the Full Moon. It's a Hex ability, works against the enemy units. What it does is it reduces the armor piercing weapon damage and melee attack by 50%, which can be very powerful against the enemy's elite units. This unit is unbreakable. They also got the ability Moon Prayer, which increases their mass and damage resistance. Ability Thunderbolt, which is passive and basically makes their melee attacks do splash damage. Got the ability Dark Moon, which is also passive ability, and reduces the enemy's melee defense and armor by 50%. This ability only activates once, and it activates only when this unit goes below 50% of hit points. Got 2 resistances, one is physical and one is spell resistance. They have magical melee attacks, and they also got the Blood Moon ability on their melee attack, which reduces the armor piercing weapon damage of the enemy unit. Their weapons do better against large units and also armor piercing. I'm very excited about this mod because of so many cool looking units that this mod has to offer, and one of them is the Z Bloodblade, unique cool looking unit which can be used as a siege attacker, immune to psychology. It also got the new cool abilities, which one of them is Artillery Workshop, increases their missile resistance. Impact Construction, which also has some impact on missile resistance. The ability that improves their weapon armor piercing damage only activates when their hit points goes below 50%. Thirst to Kill improves their melee capabilities based on how many enemies they kill, and they get the physical resistance. They're also gonna do better against infantry and their armor piercing. Next, we got some flying bombardment unit. First one is the Ocean Bomber. The name speaks for itself for this unit. It doesn't have any range weapons to shoot from. All this unit does is basically dropping bombs on enemies' heads. It's not gonna do well against other flank units because it has a really bad melee stats. It got decent health points and armor. Next we have a smaller unit, but at least unit that can shoot. It's called Ocean Auxiliary Boat. It's always flying, but as the previous unit, it's not gonna do well in melee. But it got some nice abilities. One of them is the Deploy Reinforcements. Basically deploys the team of the Hidden Guards. It got the ability Call Fleet, which will summon the retired homing battleship. And it got the ability Eye of the Dragon, which can force spot and improves the leadership. It also has a Frostbite ability on its missiles and armor piercing. And here we got a really nice flying artillery piece. It's called Ocean Prism Ship. This tank looks like it flew from the deeper space and using the warp magic because it looks like a warp crystal. Anyway, this unit has the ability Prism Focus, which improves its armor piercing explosive damage and accuracy, but decreases its reloading skill and makes the unit unable to move. Has a really nice range, magical ammunition, it's anti-large and armor piercing. Also it got the ability Prism Core, which improves its range while it's not moving. It got 5% of missile resistance, and this unit can be used against walls as well. And here we got the huge ship that this mod has to offer to Grand Cathay with many abilities of summoning different kinds of units. It's called the Hao Ming Battleship. This ship has a really huge cannon that does tons of damage, has a nice range, magical ammunitions, is best against infantry, has armor piercing bonus. It can deploy the defensive turret 15 times, has the ability to deploy the Bloody Guard, Wild Ark Hunt, Changyang Xiaolong, the ability to command the auxiliary ocean boat to sacrifice its life and basically fly into the enemies. It also can be used as a siege attacker, it's unbreakable, got the ability Mothership Score, improves its armor piercing missile damage and missile resistance. It also refills the friendly unit's ammo. Got the ability Hao Ming Airspace, got few bonuses. One is ward save and the missile resistance. This unit can be used in many situations, which I really like. The only thing, it's too big for the enemy missiles, so keep in mind that it can be shut down very easily. Next, I got the Tanzo Fleet, the unit with ammo variations. The first one is the standard shell, and the second was the shotgun shell. Based on the stats of these different ammos, the standard shell is best used against single entities, and the shotgun shells is best used against huge crowds of enemy units. We've also got the ability cartridge case reuse, which refills their ammo but reduces its missile capabilities for 30 seconds. And they also got the Skyjack bombs, which can they drop on the enemy units. They got the flaming ammunition, bonus versus large and armor piercing. Also they got Eye of the Dragon, and got the missile resistance of 15%. And now I got to the units that I think the Grand Cathay was lacking, is the dragon units, especially the flying dragon units. So this one is just called Dragon, a very cool looking dragon unit with the ability of the long Yanbo, which is the breath ability which can be used 3 times. It got the magical attacks, armor piercing claws, and bonus versus large. This dragon encourages other units. It's unbreakable. Got the dragon scale ability, which reflects the melee damage and gives it missile block chance. Got 3 different resistances and also causing fear. Here we have another cool looking dragon called Phoenix Dragon, with the ability of the Demon Dragon Explosion. It's a magic missile ability which does armor piercing damage. It's also unbreakable, has the ability of the Demon Phoenix Wings, which gives this unit a couple of resistances. Rare ability to heal it, Phoenix Field, which is the passive hex ability that debuffs enemy units. Get the ability the landslide, the bombardment ability, got the missile resistance, and this unit causes terror and fear. It also got the magical attacks and Dimension Torn ability, which reduces the enemy's armor piercing weapon damage and armor. And the unit itself does the armor piercing damage. And for the last dragon unit that this mod has to offer, we have a unit called D-Long with a couple of abilities. Well, first one is the sprinkle beans into a slider, heal and resurrect dead combatants, and the vertex ability, which causes magical damage. This dragon also encourages other units, it's unbreakable, got the dragon scale ability, got 3 resistances, and this unit causing terror and fear has a magical attacks, which also armor piercing, and got bonus versus both large and infantry units. And for the last unit that I think that looks very unique and cool, I left you guys the As the Wing of the Sun. This unit looks like it's about to fight another enemy Skadzu. It got the Zinch's barrier, it's unbreakable, got the ability of the Mecha Research Institute, Mecha Construction, level 3, Light Wing Propulsion, which increases its speed and charge speed, got 1 resistance, has a magical attacks, also with the ability of Yayan Greatsword, which reduces the enemy's armor piercing damage and melee attacks. Also, it's going to be best used against large enemies and its armor piercing. And that was all the new units that's been added with this mod. Again, it's called Aurora Expansion Pack, based on Google Translate. I was really excited when first time I saw this mod. I thought that it would add lots of spiciness to your next gameplay as the Grand Cathay, because as you guys can see, like this unit adds robots, flying tanks, land tanks, like spaceship units, the really futuristic type of units. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was long, but I hope it was worth it for you guys. If you like it, subscribe for this mod on Total War Warhammer 3 Workshop. And if you guys don't mind, please hit the like button and subscribe under my channel. I'm always happy to see whenever you guys like my videos and subscribing. Also, if you have any questions, please leave a comment, or if you like the video, please let me know on the comments below. And I hope you guys have a nice day.